Hi everyone, welcome to another round of Otaku United AS. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the PC Engine Duo R, specifically how this console is connected to the TV, what I use to connect it to the TV, and some of the special components or aspects of this particular console. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, this is a region modded console, and it also has a RGB mod, and all of the transistors or capacitors within the console have been replaced. So I did purchase this off of eBay for $299 from Doujindance. So I have been using this console now for the last, I'd say, week or so, 2 weeks or so, and it's been great. The only thing that I wish I was prepared for when I first got it was understanding the nuances of connecting RGB signals to LCD TVs, and really how to get the best picture out of a console that predates 1990. One of the things I've come to realize is the PC Engine Duo R does play games at a lower resolution than even the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. And because of that, a lot of games do look more pixelated than usual. Now, again, this is modern day eyes looking at a very, very classic console. I mean, now I think the PC Engine Duo R specifically is close to 30 years old, but the PC Engine itself has been out since, correct me if I'm wrong, 1987 or 1986, around that time. So it came out the same time, roughly the same time as the NES, about a year or two before the Sega Mega Drive in Japan. So now that I've discussed all that, we're going to talk about how this has been hooked up to my current setup. So you'll notice next to the PC Engine Duo R, there is a PCFX as well. And maybe you haven't noticed yet, but I am a console nerd. So I like to own weird things. And to me, the PC Engine was an extremely interesting console with really a lot of games that I've yet to play, and I have a huge collection of them, so I'm so eager to start playing through many of them. But at the same time, the PCFX caught my interest because I realized it was a successor to the PC Engine. So why did I get into the PC Engine to begin with? Well, that's because of a company called PCE Works out of Germany, and they just sold a bunch of classic games, and I'm like, what the heck is a PC Engine, TurboGrafx, all this stuff. And I do remember as a child seeing the TurboGrafx for sale, specifically Bonk, but I never quite knew what it was at the time. Again, this is way back in the 80s. I owned a Nintendo, and I think a Game Boy was the one thing that I was allowed to have. So yeah, I mean, totally out of my league. And as I got older, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Sega Saturn, and so on and so forth. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand, hooking this sucker up to an LCD TV. So first and foremost, you are definitely going to need two things. If you buy this with a RGB mod, or three things I should say. If you buy this with an RGB mod, you can go one of two routes. You can go an S-Video route or a Scart route. So for this particular console, I went ahead and went the Scart route. For the PCFX, it comes with a built-in AV output as well as an S-Video output. So I don't have to go the Scart route in this case. But for this one, this is completely Scart. So Scart connection is actually connected to a Scart to HDMI connector right here. And this particular device will bring the Scart and convert it to be played on an LCD monitor. Now, originally when I put this Scart directly to the LCD monitor, it looked nice and clean, but pixelated. And it's that pixelated look that, well, I know a lot of people love. For me, it's a little bit too pixelated, like something's distinctly missing. And so I came to the conclusion that, first of all, this is a console that was meant for CRT TVs, the old tube televisions that a lot of us have forgotten about. And in order for this game to look its best, it really needs to have some type of combing or scanline effect. So there was a solution fortunately, an affordable solution online. And so that came in the form of this particular device. So this thing is a Scanline generator. I did purchase this off of Amazon for roughly $35. And it does the job, and it does it well. This works really good, or really well, for, again, the older consoles. I'd say anything that was released between 1980 to roughly 2000, or 1980 to roughly 1994. It does miracles for, in terms of improving the picture quality and giving it more of that original look that it would have if it were being played on an original CRT TV. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that in the next half of this video. And while I'm doing that, I do tend to go off the cusp when I'm talking, so I do apologize for that. But there's quite a few games I'm going to look at when doing that. But I want to go ahead and, before I get into that second part, let's go ahead and zoom into this real quick, and you can kind of see it. Let me see if I can't. There we go. You can kind of see that Scanline effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off this device. There's a manual off, and let you guys really just see the difference here. And if I zoom out, it looks great on this particular screen, no major issues. But again, you can start to see that pixelation come out, that Scanline turn back on. Let's go ahead and just put a game on before I start the next half of this video. Got the console loading right there. And here we go. We have the planet Earth. Keep in mind, I'm generally sitting about 8 to 10 feet away from my TV. So I'm pretty close right now, and you can kind of see what the Scanlines are doing. They're really helping to smooth out the picture and give it more of a cohesive look. And this is the way, honestly, the game would look on an original LCD TV back in the day. When I say the day, I'm talking, before the 2000s. So if I turn that off, let's go ahead and see what happens to the planet Earth in terms of its look. And here we go. Far more pixelated, and that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid here. So it's a clean picture, but it's a pixelated picture. And I wanna give it more of that original look. So to do that, we're gonna go ahead and turn the scanner, or the Scanline generator, back on. Let's actually get to a scene where we have something generating here. Let's go to the actual gameplay before we switch it back on. And this is a 2-player game. Hiro Itichi. Let's do a Hiro. We're going to kind of look at this guy for a minute, and let's turn the Scanline generator back on. And there we go. Now, this does have the ability to control the thickness of your scan lines as well. So if we want to do thinner scan lines, all we do is we press a different button. And that would be this one, if I remember. Yep, that one. And this makes the scan lines even smaller. And I'd say this is probably more appropriate for some of the higher resolution games that came out in the mid-90s, specifically on the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, and probably your PlayStation. But for the PC Engine, sticking with these scan lines actually makes it look better, at least in my opinion. That's more subjective. But anyway, I'm going to let you look at the second half of this video where we go through quite a few games and kind of look at how this thing looks overall. So let's go on to part 2. All right, here we are for round 2. So we're going to be taking a look at some games on both the PC Engine and also the NEC PCFX using the Scanline generator. I will be zooming in and out. I do apologize for using an external camera. I don't have the equipment for direct feed, but I think this gives viewers the best possible picture for what it would look like, you know, from sitting at your sofa position. So we're going to zoom in and out of here. We can kind of see from a distance, and we can kind of see way up close what it would look like. So let's go ahead and start off with Guyver, or Guyven Galaxy.
Hey. Hey, Pete, let's go get some. Yes.
Turn up the volume on this one for you guys.
人類を救うべく飛来した愛と正義の戦士がいた。
やあ諸君、地球での生活には慣れたかね。
Alright, the load times on this one are a little bit lengthy, so we do have to wait for the game to actually start. Scanline, it definitely has a more pixelated look to it. Which is one of the reasons why, even from a distance, it's pretty noticeable. But turning the scan lines back on really does help to clear that picture up the way it should be. And here you can see the difference. Let's go and look at another game. This time we're going to go ahead and take a look at Macross 2036. Funny side note, I am a huge Macross nerd. To this day, my favorite Macross, I wouldn't say film or OVA, probably film, is going to be Macross Plus.
あれから何度ゼントラーリー軍の攻撃があったか定かではない。数年前のボドルザー艦隊との戦いで地球は荒廃していた。しかしそれでも地球はゼントラーリー軍をことごとく打ち破り撃滅しつつあった。地球に残ったブリタイ艦隊と歌によるショック攻撃があったからである。人々は歌によるショック攻撃を民命攻撃と呼んだ。
もらったへへ、軽い軽い。
ロット、油断しないで。上よ。
But not very good at this game yet. Which is probably noticeable by me playing in easy mode. Slightly embarrassing, but that's okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Winds of Thunder. For those of you that are familiar with this game, you'll know that the American variant of this game is called Wings of Thunder. So, let's go ahead and swap out these two games first. The case to this is gorgeous. And here we go. This game is a tour de force when it comes to visual fidelity. And sound.
The once peaceful land of Mistra was about to be plunged into a time of death and turmoil. From the darkest reaches of the land, the army of the Garuda Empire, under the command of High Priest Sornval and the 6 Dark Generals, had begun the invasion of Mistral. Not since the Battle of the Gods during the time of the Sword had the beautiful countries of Mistral seen such savage destruction. In this battle, the legendary Knight Drak, with the goddess Luxina, had sealed the evil...
Let's go ahead and skip over to the gameplay on this one. This intro's pretty lengthy. Super hard. Normal. Normal.
いらっしゃいませ。ありがとうございました。
Okay, next we're going to take a look at the very famous Fantastic Night Dreams Rainbow. Or actually, Fantastic Night Dreams Cotton. Some of you are probably screaming at your screens right now for getting that name completely wrong. Just perfectly okay. There we go.
ある日のこと、突然闇の波動が光のプリズムを狂わせ、世界中の光を吸い込み始めてしまいました。それから夜の闇が続き、人々は眠ったままの朝を目覚めさす方法がわからないまま不安な生活を送らされていました。しかしそんなことには全く無関心で、ウィローが大好きなコットンという魔法使いがいました。お願いです。助けてください。私の世界が闇の魔物たちに支配されてしまいました。どうか闇の魔物を倒して私たちの世界を救って。あれ魔物のボスを倒せば妖精の国名産のウィローが手に入るのにな。レッツゴー。
Sorry, she's looking for. I don't know the character's main name, but she's only willing to help because she mentioned Cotton. I'm sorry, because she mentioned Willow. That was it. Other than that, she was about to walk away from her. Honestly, not my favorite shooter, but then again, I'm not the best at shooting games, like I said earlier. But I understand the appeal to this game. It definitely looks cool. It certainly is fun to play. And, yeah. There's a lot going on here. Let's go ahead and zoom in real quick. Put the character in the center, and there goes Cotton. And I want to go ahead and illustrate one more time without the scan lines, what it looks like. Here we are, no scan lines. And it still looks good. Like I said earlier, it has a clean look to it. But quite honestly, I find it to be too clean. So let's go ahead and put the scan lines back. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at Tengai Makio 2 for the PC Engine as well. And then we're going to switch over to the PCFX from there.
マリオ、読みよ、私の可愛い子たち。お前たち二人の力を合わせ、この世界の中で最も美しき人、何者にも屈せぬ強き命を生み落とし、そして育みなさい。さあ、旅立つのです。
母ちゃん、おかえり。
万次丸はいるか？今日という今日は許さねえぞ。
万次丸、またどこかで喧嘩したんでしょう。まったくしょうがない子ね。それにしても子供の喧嘩にいちいち親が出てくるなんて大人のすることじゃないわ。万次丸、お前はほとぼりが冷めるまでどこかその辺で暇つぶしといで。2階のいつものところからお逃げ。あとは母さんが適当にあしらっとくから任せなさい。
Okay, for this last one, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the PC FX. And we're going to run a game I ran before, Zenki. So let's go ahead and switch it over. Right now it's showing no signal because I have to switch it over to the HDMI. So I'll do that right now. So here we have the PCFX running with the Scanline mod in place. Let's go ahead and turn it off and see what the difference is real quick. And as you can see, it's quite pixelated, but the colors are quite nice, and I do love the color mixing. So you can tell, you can definitely tell this is a generational leap in terms of graphical capabilities. Unfortunately, the system was never truly tapped into beyond the cutscenes and a few games that show off what it could do with 2D graphics, Zenki being one of them. But here we go. And then we can see the difference between bigger and smaller scan lines. And I think for something like the PCFX, it could benefit probably more so from the smaller scan lines than the bigger ones. But it definitely looks better with the scan lines rather than without. So for now, we're going to stick with the bigger scan lines. And we're going to go ahead and put in, we're going to go ahead and pop the game in. So start that right now. Let's go ahead and skip the rest of this intro.
なるほどな。異空間に誘い込んで自分たちに有利にしようってことかよ。
待っていたぞ。他の奴らには悪いが、我がここで血祭りにあげてやるわ。せえ！
have the thicker scan lines and the thinner scan lines. In this case, due to the resolution of the game, I really feel like the thicker scan lines do this game more service, or do this game justice. Okay guys, that is it. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. I will be putting the links to where you can find this Scanline generator on Amazon, as well as the Scart and a link to Doujindance's latest store page on eBay, just in case you're interested in purchasing his pre-modified PC Engine Duo Rs or RXs, which are also available.